Hey, y'all, welcome back to the Late Night Vision Show. This is episode number 323. My name is Jason Robertson, owner of Outdoor Legacy, one of your co hosts right here on the podcast, the first podcast dedicated to all you night hunters, to thermal optics, night vision optics. If you can illegally hunt it at night, we're going to talk about it on the show, and we're going to talk about how to do it. And to do that today, as always, introduce my co-host, Mr. Hans. What is going on tonight, sir?
I hope everybody had a good a safe July 4th. Everybody came back with all their fingers from last week. We always do it. I tell you, we usually do a fireworks show or go to a fireworks show at a friend's house. We ended up having to leave early because we had to get up early the next morning to go to a tennis tournament for my daughter. So we saw zero fireworks this year. That's
You're
okay
not even
though.
An American.
That's okay.
Yeah.
When you get a little bit older, it's okay we've seen them for how many years now, and around here in East Texas, it doesn't even have to be July 4th to see fireworks. No. People are just shooting them off just to shoot them off.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's funny you say that because that was on, I guess, whatever day that was, Thursday. And on Friday night, my kids were like, "Oh, look outside!" Somebody a mile away. You see over the tree line over there. Yeah.
And people have time off around July 4th because it's holiday, so they're not having to work. So they're always like, "Hey, y'all, you gonna go hunt? Y'all are gonna go hunt?" And I'm like, "No," because the 3 days before July 4th and the 3 days after July 4th, it is solid fireworks. The hogs are bedded down. They're not coming out because they think they're just being fired at for 72 hours straight. The coyotes are not doing anything. So it is, man, it is crazy in East Texas around July 4th, but we had a good one. I got to do a lot of swimming, but last week's show, episode 322 is night vision going away. Great show. A lot of feedback. A lot of people are like, freaked out. I think there was some freak out from people that maybe saw the title and didn't actually watch the show.
If you read the title and you didn't watch the show, then you should absolutely leave long comments. That's what you
No, but it was a great discussion on a topic it's not about night vision going away. It's about the popularity of thermal taking over the industry is really what it's about. It's not about that technology really just disappearing or anything like that.
I think if we would have changed the title, is night vision going away for hunting, we probably could have maybe shut down some of the guys who commented and didn't watch the show. But no, it was a good show.
Jason doesn't like my controversial titles because it causes a lot of comments that he's got to reply to.
Well, a lot of people that don't watch the show but need to
want to comment. Exactly. Yeah, right. So this week, a far less controversial topic, but more information.
I don't know.
We'll see. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. So when is the best time to buy thermal? We're going to be talking about not necessarily giving you the time of year or season or whatever. This is more based on questions that we get from you, like what is SHOT Show? Is SHOT Show important anymore? We'll be talking about that. We're going to be talking about when manufacturers run specials and promotions. We're going to talk about
don't give it all away. Let's roll into
the technology, the advancement of technology. Anyway, so we're going to be running through that. When is the best time to buy a thermal, whether you're looking for a thermal right now or looking for one in the future? We, as in me and Jason and Jessica and Angela and Michaela and Ashley, we would love to be able to help you with the purchase of your net. That's a lot of people, Jason. Man,
a lot of people.
That is a lot of people.
We need to sell some scopes so I can make payroll.
Yeah. So if you're looking to purchase a brand new optic, a night vision, hey, we're still selling them, a night vision or thermal optic, we would love to help you out. You can do so by calling us 877-350-1818, outdoorlegacygear.com. If you know what you want, hop on the website. You can buy it right through there. But most of you call, and that's good. We want to talk through it. We want to make sure that you're getting the right scope, making the right decision. And you can do so, 877-350-1818. Jason, I've introduced a topic. I've told people where to buy scopes.
Okay.
What else do we got to do?
So
It's on you now, man.
It's on me. All right, I'm looking at my notes here. All right, I'm still scratching.
Or maybe
notes
it's
on my
not.
notes.
Maybe it's on me. Maybe
No,
I'm
it's
next.
on. It's on
Okay.
me. It's on.
Oh,
It's on
okay.
me. So, okay, and oh no, it is on you.
It is. Yeah.
I was
I
supposed
took
to
over
see.
your.
We have notes, but this is the
Yeah.
problem, guys. We have these notes, but then we don't follow them. So it's got my
Yeah.
name over here. Yeah, no. So it is on you, Hans. Go ahead. I'm
Okay.
sorry. Yeah.
I did. I took over your segment. I was just things were flowing really good.
They
I
were.
was not
They
getting
were.
tripped up over my words, which a lot of times I do. So it's kind of like
Keep
Joe
going.
Biden when he's having a good moment, he just needs to ride that horse as long
Just-
as he can, until he falls off.
Oh, God.
So I'm just going to keep it going. I'm not in that advanced state of
mental decay. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, the first question. And this is a question that's been around for years and years and years, and I think it had a lot more influence than it does now. A lot of people used to say, I don't think they say it near as much, but should I wait until SHOT Show to see what new optics are coming out? Now, if you don't know what SHOT Show is, it is one of the premier or the largest shooting and hunting outdoor conventions in the universe. I don't know if that's true.
That's true.
At least here, at least around here. So it is the biggest hunting and outdoor shooting convention there is. Is it always in Las Vegas? It is
always in Las Vegas, and it's
Okay.
only for manufacturers, dealers, and distributors. It's not for the general public.
So when I've always gone, it's always been in Vegas. Have you ever gone to one in another location?
I have. I've been to one. So years and years, we're way off topic. Years and years ago, it used to travel from Orlando to New Orleans to Vegas, and it made a circuit. And I've been to it in Orlando and in New Orleans when I was a kid because my dad was in this industry. But it hasn't done that in 20 years.
Gotcha. Okay. So Vegas, I've been going for several years. It's been in Vegas. Anyway, it's always towards the end of January, so towards the beginning of the year. And it used to be and specifically talking about night vision and thermal companies. Now this is an industry show. You got bag companies, rifle, pistol companies, you got flashlight, everything that you can ever imagine, stuff that you didn't even know would probably be in the hunting category. The companies are there showing the product, but specifically about night vision and thermal optics. A lot of those companies would show all of their new products at SHOT Show at the end of January. This is our lineup for the year. And that's where dealers would go in and see the new product, get to play with it a little bit, get to touch. This was really before social media just kind of exploded and you had live podcasts like we do. This was the dealers being able to see the product so they could take this information and start sharing that with their customers and start kind of getting the wheels of the market moving with new product. Now, the question is do I need to wait until SHOT Show to see new products? I guess one of the questions is, do they still is new product shared at SHOT Show? The answer to that is yes. Is all of a company's new product shared at SHOT Show? Meaning, is every one of their new models for that year going to be displayed and announced at SHOT Show? The answer to that is no, or possibly no, depending. But the companies now, and I think it's a good thing, the companies now will release new products throughout the year. We see that with Infrared Outdoor that released their 1024 TX60 back in May when we had on Nathan with IRA USA. AGM has released a lot of new products. The Pulsar just released their Telos 1024 monocular, the XL50. So they are not displaying, or they're not announcing all of their new product at SHOT Show. So the need to okay, I'm going to wait until January to see what's announced, and then that's how I'm going to make my decision. You really can't do that, or you really don't need to do that at this point, because there's going to be releases throughout the year. SHOT Show is still a very important show for the industry, but I don't think it holds the weight that it used to. You see a lot of companies, not within our space, not within night vision or thermal, but you see companies throughout the hunting market are scaling their presence back at SHOT Show, and in some cases, not even being there at all, depending on the company. But there's a huge cost factor in that. So the internet, social media has really changed everything because they can really get their message. A lot of these companies now can get their message directly to the end user consumer through social media, and not necessarily have to take it to a show to show dealers, to get dealers to talk about it to the end user. So that's a long answer to say, do I need to wait for SHOT Show for new releases? There will probably, each company will probably have a handful of releases, but that's not the only time of year now that new product is announced or released. It really trickles out throughout the year now for since COVID, really, right, Jason?
Yeah. So I'm going to disagree with one thing you said.
Oh.
And you said that manufacturers no longer release all their models at SHOT Show. Now they dribble them out through the year. And you said, and you might have just been saying, you said that's a good thing. I think it's a bad thing for the consumer. I'll be honest, because here's what you did have. And you're right, it's COVID. COVID killed this. Before COVID, and we know this for a fact, and Hans, I mean, without talking about this publicly, without rehearsing this, we know of optics that were designed and were basically available in, say, October or November. And manufacturers, this is going pre-COVID, manufacturers would say, man, we got this new scope. We're just about ready. And we could release it right now and we could sell some, but we're afraid that we wouldn't get the big, like kind of what you're talking about, social media and all this, and get the big boom and the media frenzy. So we're going to hold it until the end of January when we go to SHOT Show. Because that was just the thing that you did. I mean, just, and it would be like, well, it's too late. And so there'd also be things where a manufacturer would have something that they just were so close to being ready, but they weren't quite ready to announce it because maybe they're still working out some things. They don't know 1,000% sure they're going to get it done. So they don't announce it. And then they got to wait a whole year. And maybe by the time the next year comes, technologies come. And Hans and I have been privy to things that like, hey, this is coming in 10 months at the next SHOT Show. And then it never comes. Why? Because technology just literally moved past it in that year. And so that definitely, I think it was nice to say it is an extreme outlier for an optic to come out that's not at SHOT Show. It happened, but it was rare. And now, like Hans said, there will be new stuff at SHOT Show, but there may be new stuff in May. There may be new stuff in August and September and October. And it's just kind of when it's available, it comes out. And so it's good and it's bad. I mean, it's tough because you don't know, hey, if I just wait till January, I'll pretty much know. You could buy something today and the new one could come tomorrow, unannounced. Yeah. I mean,
I think the reason, thinking that it is somewhat of a good thing is because when they announce it, like you said, when they announce it at SHOT Show and it doesn't get delivered to the dealers in 10 till 10 months or 6-8 months down the road, that's a long time. What I think some of the manufacturers have gotten a little bit better at, and there's still some struggles, y'all, it's not perfect, but announcing a new scope and it being at the dealers in a shorter amount of time. Let's wait. Now I say there's some people out there that are punching their phones or their screens right now, and I completely understand that.
I know where this is going.
But it has, in some cases, Jason, it has gotten better. Yeah, it has gotten better.
So what Hans is referring to is he is right about one thing. The general thing at SHOT Show was, hey, we're going to announce a whole bunch of stuff, and some of it might not ship for 8 to 10 months. We have examples of things that were announced at a SHOT Show. People got on a back order or a pre-order list for it, and then that optic actually never was produced. Like they would just go it's coming, whoop, and the same kind of thing. Well, we hadn't made it, we got something new and better. And so that optic wouldn't even ever come. So anyway, the point is valid. No, you can't just wait on that anymore. There's stuff coming all the time, randomly. You just don't know when it is. Doesn't make you feel any better, but it's just the truth. Now, here's another question. We get this a lot. And Hans and I were actually talking about this last weekend because we both had some phone calls and some emails and things with some guys asking questions of, hey, is it okay to buy this discontinued scope? I found this scope. It's discontinued. Is that okay? And I'm not talking about buying it used, but they found some dealer that's sitting on some of these, whatever. Well, the answer to that is complicated. And I think that the shortest way to answer that is saying, if you're buying it from a legitimate authorized dealer that has great customer service and all those things, and that's the number one thing when you're buying, you want to make sure that you've got a quality dealer, and there's a lot of good dealers out there. As long as you got that, that's number one. Number two is you've got to ask yourself, how good of a deal am I getting on it? Because what happens is one scope in particular that I had a guy ask me about, end of last week was, hey, this scope has actually been discontinued for a year now. Okay. He found one somewhere on the shelf and he says it's new. It's got a full warranty. And he says, I heard this was a great scope. Should I buy this? Well, that's a little difficult, but my short answer was, when I found out what the scope was and what the price was, it's like, for $500 more, you can get a current model scope that is significantly better. For $800 more, you can get the version 2 of that scope that is far, far better. So there comes this price, like, if and my advice to him is if you can buy it for $3,000 cheaper, then okay,
Yeah.
maybe so, but you've got to decide where that price range is. On the surface, as long as you're buying from a good dealer and the scope is new and it's got a full warranty, then there's not necessarily a problem with it. But it really comes down to your value for the dollar. And I don't get me wrong, guys. I know $500 or $800 sounds like a lot, but we were talking about a scope that was in the $4,000 or $5,000 range. And so when you're spending that much money, I mean, I'm not making light of $500 or even $800, but if you're going to buy something that you may potentially have for 4 or 5 years and it is technology, you need to be saving a whole lot more than that if you're buying a 4-year-old model that was actually discontinued a year ago. You need to save more than $400 or $500. It's just not worth it. So, in my opinion, that is a case by case basis, and you need a really good reason to buy that discontinued scope. So, one, there's nothing else out there like it. It does something that you want it to do that the newer models don't do, or it's got something better about it that you like that the newer models don't have, or it is significantly cheaper, because you've got to remember, once an optic is discontinued, its resale value as a used scope is going to go down clearly. And so the longer that it's been discontinued, the more its resale value goes down. So you got to be really careful of what you're paying for it. And if you say, well, I don't know, what's a good price? That's a case by case basis. And that's something you're just going to have to probably decide for yourself. And hopefully the dealer that you're buying from, if he's got that used optic, can be honest with you and tell you that. So
Yeah.
I would just say, and Hans, I'll let you give your 2 cents on it. Well, I don't know. It's a little difficult to say here and be diplomatic. I don't think it's always wrong to do it. I think sometimes, though, I would say in the majority of cases, people are probably overpaying for what they're getting, but not all the time.
So what I would say is, I think really, and you said case by case basis, I think you really got to do your due diligence in researching exactly what you're considering buying. A lot of times, not a lot of times, sometimes the version 2 is well worth the upgrade or the difference in price. You look at the Rattler version 1 versus the AGM Rattler version 2. Great upgrades, completely worth the money, the upgrade in price. People out there selling their Rattler version 1s to get the V2s, completely worth it. There are some models out there of other manufacturers, other models, that there's some slight improvements, but maybe not worth them going through the trouble of getting rid of their current optic and buying something brand new, or looking at something discontinued. What I would also say, and the reason why you got to do your due diligence, there are companies out there, very, very large optic companies, that buy a lot of these discontinued optics in bulk, in huge bulk capacities. And you might be thinking, well, I know it's discontinued, but it's just the last discontinued model. No, this model was discontinued 3 years ago. And the
That's
nomenclature
happening right now.
right now, and the way
Right
that
now.
these models are numbered, they're so similar that you can miss one number or one letter, and you don't have the previous model. You've got 2 or 3 previous models before that. So,
And
and
you can't
yes,
call that manufacturer, or not manufacturer, I'm sorry. You can't call that large optic dealer that's selling it and find out, because number one, they probably don't know. Number two, they would lie to you.
yeah, they're being
They
dishonest.
have they're not going to probably tell you the truth, or maybe even the
Yeah,
person you talk to have a clue
yeah.
about that. Yeah,
So
so
it's
that's
important.
a good point, Hans.
Yeah, so it's important to do your due diligence on that. Make sure there's nothing wrong, I think, with considering a discontinued optic or one that is currently discontinued or about to be discontinued. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Make sure you know what you're getting. Make sure you investigate a little bit, and there's sometimes out there there's a good opportunity to get maybe a little bit of a discount or something, depending on what the manufacturer is doing. But this stuff is moving pretty quickly, and the prices are moving quickly as well. All right. So with all that being said, we're ready to move on to
Yep.
probably the biggest question that Jason that I get on the phone when we're talking about these scopes. And again, this is when to buy a thermal, but these are questions from you. As far as these are, I guess, a lot of your buying triggers that are things that you're considering or weighing before that you actually pull that credit card out or get that checkbook out. The question that I overwhelmingly get over all of these is, do these ever go on sale? And man, let me tell you, if you would have said that 3 years ago, I would have said, nope, the price is the price. And just to be clear, Outdoor Legacy, any other dealer that you see or you come across on social media, we as a dealer do not set the price. The prices are set by the manufacturer. All the dealers agree to set their prices at MAP pricing, in that way that everybody's on a similar playing field, I guess. And you could probably speak a little bit more to that, Jason, because you're on the inside of that. But so all of the dealers, if you look across the internet or social media, all of them advertise their price at the same prices, MAP pricing. Now, 3 years ago, COVID time, when things were rocking and rolling and thermal was, very, very popular and very new to a lot of people, this stuff really never went on sale. There was really not many specials at all that I could hardly ever think of, unless something was being discontinued or maybe they were trying to close it out. But these are different times. There's a lot more competition in the market, not just, with the amount of scopes, but also with the amount of manufacturers that have come into the market. And these companies are trying to take market share from other companies. They're producing a lot of models. They're doing so much that they can do to, get their foot into the industry. So these things they do now sometimes go on sale. We just don't know exactly when. There's not really a rhyme or reason. Now, yes, around Black Friday, which is in November, yes, there's typically a sale that the manufacturers will do. Not on every model, not across the board. It's usually on specific models. It's usually on models that they're trying to get blown out, trying to get rid of, or making way for new models. So yeah, you can usually count on around Black Friday, and a lot of you do. A lot of you call around that time and are asking about it. But now at times there are sales throughout the year. And we don't get, as a dealer, we don't get a lot of advance notice on when a sale is going to happen. So it's not like we're sitting back here and hoping everybody buys it at full price just so we can lower, the manufacturers can lower the price the next day. Yes, these things do from time to time go on sale. Now, if you're talking about, or if you're looking at a model that was just released, I had a guy today ask about the Radler version 2 and if it was on sale or going on sale. I don't have a crystal ball, but I can tell you it's probably not going on sale anytime soon. It's relatively still a brand new scope, and stuff like that. The brand new stuff usually doesn't go on sale right away. But again, a lot of these manufacturers now are running intermittent sales or flash sales. They could be a quick sale, or it could be, a month long, type of giveaway. I think Pulsar for a while, Jason, they were doing like a free tripod for about a month. I think when you purchase a Thermion scope, they were giving away a Kofi Yeager tripod. That sale ended, was very successful. And so these companies are trying to incentivize people to buy their scopes, which is what industry is. And that's how industry and competition works. So the answer to the question, yes, these things from time to time go on sale. A lot of times there's no rhyme or reason. There's no pre-planned schedule sometimes for this. We're not getting a lot of advance notice on it, but they do from time to time go on sale.
Yeah, that's right, Hans. I mean, it's really hard when you're trying to figure out like timing things for sales because, and you might have said this, we just went through July 4th. There were no sales. We can go through Labor Day and there may not be any sales. There might be something like you said at Black Friday, but what I've also seen people do, and I feel bad for them, but they really want to scope, and there's this fear that it might go on sale. And maybe it's even Black Friday where you think, okay, this is the best shot I've got. And so they wait and they wait, and hunting season is just going by and it's going by. And then they're just building up all this hope, and you get to, let's just again use Black Friday as that date, and that scope's not on sale. And then it's this, well, I've waited this long. Do you think they might have a Christmas or a New Year's sale? Man, I don't know. And you feel bad because they have this anxiety of this waiting, and I get it. We all want to save money and we all want to buy it as cheap as we can, but I kind of feel bad for them because I'm thinking like, you've missed a hunting season. What was that worth to you? And so I'll make this comment, and I've had this discussion with some customers before. When something goes on sale, we don't ever know how much. It may be $50. It may be $2,000. And don't get me wrong, nobody wants to leave $2,000 laying on the table. I'm just making that comment. That could happen in some wild scenario. But if we're talking about a few $100s, and you're talking about potentially missing 2, 3, 4 months of a season of hunting, there comes a point that I'm like, okay, let's amortize that out. How many times are you going to go? You're going to go, what? 2, 3 times a month. I mean, maybe you're going to go once a week, but let's just even say 2 or 3 times a month, and it's 2 or 3 months. And so you're talking about maybe 10 hunting trips you didn't go on. Well, each one of those trips that you could have gone on, I mean, was that worth $30, $40, $50? Did you have $50 worth of fun out that night hunting with your buddies, maybe taking your kids, whatever? Well, you do that over 10 trips, that's $500. Those are, and again, this is a great salesman line, man, right here. I mean, I could sell you a mattress or a used car, some furniture. I mean, what are those memories worth? But seriously, and the reason I say this
sounds like you're about to sell me a timeshare or something.
Exactly. You need a timeshare. but I am being serious in this fact. There's nothing wrong with waiting and timing, but there does come a point that it's like, if you have this anxiety and you're so scared that a new model is going to come or that a sale is going to come and you don't ever buy, you're missing out on a lot. I mean, you're literally not getting tonight. And now, if you already have another scope or something, that's a little bit different if you're already out there doing it. But anyway, it's hard to time it. All right, so moving on. Second to last question here that we get asked is, hey, I want to buy this, but I'm afraid that they're going to lower the price later. So that's really, I was already transitioned into that. It's the same kind of thing of, that's probably going to happen. I mean, maybe not with all models, but a lot of times it is going to happen because a new model is going to come, and we've got to close these out. Manufacturer says these got to go, or maybe just the market changes. We see this, Hans. Manufacturers may not want to lower their prices, but they're really happy. They're making money. They're selling at this price, and a competitor comes in with a new scope that may or may not be better, but maybe at least be equal to with a little lower price. And now what? man, they've got to lower their price to compete. So that stuff can happen at any time. I will tell you, there is zero rhyme or reason to that. I mean, we have not seen anything like, I wouldn't say there's any certain time, SHOT Show, Christmas, Thanksgiving. That just randomly happens as the manufacturers feel like they have to do that market wise. Here's what I would tell you. And again, this is one of those things that's tough, and this is advice that I've got to take myself, and I have to do this when I'm buying things. We all make this decision all the time. There's always going to be new models. There's always going to be price drops, especially when we're buying technology. Whether it's a phone, whether it's a laptop, whether it's a camera, whatever it is, even a side-by-side or a pickup truck, there's going to be a new model. There's likely to be a sale after you buy it at some point, and you just got to buy it. You got to start using it, and you got to forget about what you paid for it. And I know it's really, really hard, but again, I know, Hans, I've used this example before of buying a tractor, and then before it even got delivered, it was back during some of the COVID stuff, the price dropped before I ever got mine. That is what it is. You buy a side by side, a Mule or a Ranger or a Can-Am, and guess what? They're running some sale, some dealer rebate special deal, for the month of August or whatever, and you didn't get that. It's just the way it is.
It is, unfortunately.
It's bad.
It is. You and I got a brand new cell phones around the same time. They had a deal on the iPhone 14, and I went in shortly after, and they were running a deal on the iPhone 15.
Like weeks, like just a couple of weeks later.
The same thing with my daughter and her cell phone, and my wife needs a phone. I mean, we're all going to be paying different prices, unfortunately. But we know as a consumer society that's the way that it works. Unfortunately, we don't like it. You kind of feel like, oh man, if I would have waited a little bit, maybe I would have got it a little bit cheaper. But also the same could be said. You might wait a little bit and it never go on sale. There's just there's no way to know. And I think all of this kind of rolls into very well to our last point as well. And this is the last item that we're going to talk about. If I buy a thermal today, will it be obsolete in 6 months, 12 months? I mean, is it going to be useless? Is the next model going to be significantly better than what I've got right now? And people some people get themselves into this buyer's anxiety, or they just kind of freeze, where they don't want to do anything at all because they're concerned that once they buy it, then they've got it, and the next model is going to be so much better than what they've got. So here's what we've had this conversation many times, and Jason and I, whenever we think of a topic, the first thing we do is we research our catalog of previous shows, and we're like, okay, have we ever talked about this, and how long ago? And first thing, I sent this show topic over to Jason. He sends a screenshot back. Yes, we did this on episode 125.
It was almost 200 episodes ago.
Yeah, but it feels like we talk about this stuff all the time because we have a lot of interactions on the phone as well. So I think that kind of plays into it. But what we can tell you as people that sell these optics and people that test all of these optics and have been in the industry for many years, is that the only thing you can do, and this goes with any major purchase that you make, you think about your car, you think about your house, whatever you're buying, and yes, this isn't to the scale of that, but it's a major purchase. These are not cheap items. They range for anywhere from a few $100s for a night vision all the way up to $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 depending on the scope. What you can do and what you need to do is to speak with people that use the optics to help you decide, speak with the experts that can help you decide on the right optic for you based on your application, your needs, and your budget. Meaning, is this going to be the right resolution level? Is this going to be the right magnification level? Is it going to, obviously, is it within my budget? You've got a criteria that you line out, and then you speak with an expert that helps you decide on the right optic for you. Now, that expert may say, you know what, we know of an optic that's coming out soon that might be perfect for you, or there might be a current model on the market that is perfect and checks all the boxes for you. But the only thing you can do, if you are a serious buyer, is to buy the optic that is perfect for you at the time that you're ready to buy, make the purchase, and go out and have fun and hunt, because that optic is going to be, again, if you've gone through the whole process the correct way, not just got on Facebook and asked a forum what optic should I get, but if you
Right.
if you went through an expert and you talked to people, then you're going to have the right optic for you. There's no doubt about it. You're going to have the optic that's going to be perfect for your situation, that you're going to be happy with. And you can't worry about what else is going to come out. Yes, there's going to be new models. Is yours going to be obsolete? No, yours is not going to be obsolete. There are optics that are running around that are several years old that are still very good, that are still very useful and just as good as the day that they purchased it. And the people are just as happy. There are people that call and say, you know what, I love my scope, but is it worth getting something new? Well, if you love your scope, then no, it's probably not worth getting something different. I hate to say that as a salesperson and as a person that depends on people buying scopes to have a living. But if you have an optic that you're completely happy with and does everything you need to do,
That's right.
there's really no reason for you to get a new optic unless that optic has a shortcoming. And it might be,
Right.
I want to be able to shoot further distance, or I need a wider field of view, or I need something that fits on an AR or a bolt action rifle. There's a lot of factors involved in that, but your optic is not going to be obsolete. Yes, there's going to be new models. There's going to be some slight changes in models. There might be major changes, like we keep talking about the Rattlers, but the V1 and V2 Rattlers. V1, no rechargeable batteries. V2, rechargeable battery packs. They're awesome. They're amazing. It's worth it. But even the V1s running around out there are not obsolete, even though the V2s are so good.
Yeah, I think that what you're saying is very, very true. And your optic is going to be as good as the day that you bought it. And I think what this really comes down to is what we're concerned about is, it's a term I know that you use with your teenage daughter, but it's the fear of missing out. And I think that's really where this comes down to. And guys, we could probably just have wrapped this in the first 10 minutes by talking with that, because I think it's human nature. We're always concerned we're going to miss out. It's the fear of missing out. Did we miss out on a sale? Did we miss out on a new model? Or maybe I'm really happy with my model. It's 2 years old, but I hear there's a new model and it's better. And Hans said, maybe you don't need to upgrade. You probably don't, but you want to, and that's okay. I mean, it's not just thermal scopes we're talking about. I mean, that pickup truck that's 5 years old or 10 years old is 15. It's probably still just fine.
Your Ranger that you had still drove, and you could do everything. But hey, you've had it for a long, long time, and you wanted a new Ranger.
You want a new one. Hey, you've heard about some new ones. You know, hey, I heard about this new computer. Mine's running kind of slow. Maybe it's probably not running any slower. Maybe it's just that everything else has gotten faster. There's a lot of that. So if I had to put a wrap on this whole show, I think what I would say is, the important thing is this. Hans did a great job there. If you're buying within your budget and you're seeking out the experts and you're finding out what is the best thing that you can buy that is available today, then that's all you can do. Because no one can tell the future. No one knows if it's going to go on sale tomorrow. No one knows if a new, better model, a version 2 or a version 3 or whatever is coming out tomorrow or next week or next year. Nobody knows that. And if they do know that, they probably can't tell you. It's kind of one of those. Yeah. Sometimes there are things that these manufacturers know. They know they're working on stuff, but they try to keep that stuff under wraps because they that's just the way it is. No different than Apple or Ford or GMC or whoever. They can't always tell what they're working on down the road. So most of the time, whoever you're dealing with, your dealer is probably not going to know what's coming. He's not going to know if there's going to be a sale. But what you need to know is, did what I buy today, was that the best thing for me? And if you say, I don't need this today, I don't need anything until October, Well, if you want to wait and see what happens for a few months, that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with just waiting and seeing what happens. Now, that's a whole nother question of, when do I buy an optic? I don't want to go down this rabbit trail, but Hans and I would say you are better buying before the busy season, because then you can get into situations of maybe what you want is not available. Maybe there's a waiting list. There's a shortage that can turn into an issue. You need to have this optic long before you're ready to go hunting, hopefully, so that you can have it zeroed. You can learn it. You can know what it does, know how to use it in the dark. So you do want to get it ahead of time, but the right time to buy is when you've got all the best info that you could get available to you at that time, and you're buying the scope that you believe, with somebody who knows these scope, with their help, you're buying the best optic for your needs that fits your budget, and that's all you can do on any given day. What happens tomorrow is out of our hands, unfortunately. Nobody, you, me, nobody but the good Lord knows what's going to happen tomorrow. And so that's just the way that it is. But I think as long as you're getting out there and you're hunting and you're enjoying the outdoors, you're enjoying your optic, you're getting to go see some animals, hopefully kill some animals, doing what you want to do, and you're happy with it, then I say it's the right time to buy, and you made a good decision.
Yep, exactly. So that has been it, y'all. When is the best time to buy a thermal? Didn't really give you a specific answer other than we helped answer a lot of questions that people of you have surrounding the buying process. Again, about SHOT Show, about your optic being obsolete, about sales and promotions. And yeah, so if you have any other questions, or as always, if you're looking to purchase a brand new night vision or thermal optic, give us a call. You can talk to us directly, 877-350-1818, outdoorlegacygear.com. If you want to check out all of our past episodes, thelatenightVisionShow.com. That's how so many of you get to know who we are, who Jason and I are, and Outdoor Legacy. You watch the shows, you want information, you're trying to buy a scope and decide, and you end up calling us. So many people that call in say that they saw us from the show, and that's great. And that's one of the big reasons why we do this every week. So if you want to find more episodes, past episodes, thelatenightVisionShow.com. You can find Jason and Outdoor Legacy on all the social media platforms, just Outdoor Legacy. You can find me on all the socials at Hans ETX, HANSETX, and on YouTube as well. And then Jason, we have I'm not going to say who it is, but we have an interview coming up in the next few weeks. Very excited about that. We're going to be talking about a topic that we haven't spent a lot of time about, or a time on. So
it's going to be a popular show.
It will be very, and hopefully it'll be a regular show for us, because this is something that it falls right in line with the night hunting community. So I hate to tease that, but
yeah, that was a terrible. You just teased everybody.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll do some better teasing later on.
Yeah. Well, that sounds good. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed this show. We hope to see you back here next Thursday. As always, between now and then, y'all stay safe.